Alright, hello. I'm going to be doing a quick little review of my ManaTraders Swiss portion with blue-green Infect. So these are the replays of my matches. So let's get into them, and I'll stop and talk about when things become important. So my first round, I was against, actually, believe it or not, Infect. So as you see, I kept the play. Nothing to do here. So turn one, there's nothing really to do. I kept the hand, knowing my opponent was on Infect, I kept the hand with two pieces of permission and a Vines. Vines is interesting because it's good against your opponent's. It's good against your opponent's creatures as well. So opponent plays a Greedy Pool, plays a Glistener Elf. So we're in trouble to start. But this is where this matchup gets awesome, because Spellskite in the mirror is just so good, because one, life doesn't matter, and two, I get to steal their cards. So as you see, he mited, I stole it. Right? And this is where okay, at one point I disagree with what that person did, and we'll talk about that in just a second. So I have my Spellskite up and I have protection. So they play Blighted Agent. So now we're in like a race, but I'm obviously going to win because I have my Spellskite. So I block here because I don't want to take any Infect at all. And knowing that if he pumped, I could steal it, and that's what happened. I ended up killing. So I ended up killing their Glistener Elf. I feel like that was a little bad of a trade because it allowed me to go 2 for 1 here and start attacking. It just gave me the tempo I needed to start pushing again. So as you see, I'm at 5, I'm at 6 Infect because I did Might, and here we go. And I hit them for 6. And I still have my Spellskite up. So I learned something interesting here because they scaled up and I tried to steal it. And then I realized it's only they control, so you can't take that one. But I did steal the Might. I stole the Grouse. I don't know why they're playing into this. Maybe they were just trying to get me to lower my life total. But it took them to 0 cards and it gave me the win that I needed. So so it's just 2, and then of course 2 from the Mutagenic Growth is 4. Oh, why didn't I Mutagenic Growth there? That was a misplay on my part. Big misplay. Alright, so anyway, I got there in game number 1. We'll be right back for game number 2. Alright, so this is game number 2 now, and let's see how this played out. I can't exactly remember. Alright, so I have Flusterstorm here, that's right. I have Blighted Agent, Flusterstorm plus Scale Up, knowing that they're probably bringing in their Spellskites, and I wanted Scale Up was just so good, so I kept this game with 2 Flusterstorms. Very excited about Flusterstorm because they can't steal it. I took 5 early on, really scary. And here, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I actually trade Infect creatures because, that's right, Scale Up. So I traded Infect creatures here because I didn't feel as if we had the ability to do that. So here I just decided to hit for 1, right? I'm in a good spot unless they play another Infect creature, but I'm light on mana, so that's where this was unfortunate. So as you see, we keep going on. Oh, good. I drew Glistener Elf. I decided to not play it here, and that's because they played their own Inkmoth. And if I had done that, then I would have been up to 7, possibly dead. So I would have had to keep up Flusterstorm. It was the worst land to draw at that time period, but I drew it anyway. Again, I'm holding up Flusterstorm. And I'm also Vine. I'm ready to hold up Vine. I should have Vines their creature there, shouldn't I? No. The reason I didn't is so that if they Vines back or Blossoming Defense back, then we would die. But then again, they traded their Inkmoth for my Inkmoth. And I think they're a little inexperienced with Infect because they actually do that here. And there it just goes away. So that was a misplay on their part. Now my Elf is ready to roll. So I'm hitting in, right? And they take it up to 3. Now I play. My defenses are down, but they have no Infect creature. Now they draw their worst land ever. And then here we go. Say they tried to do the same thing that I did, and then 7 Infect, and we won that match. So that was match number 1. we will be back for match number 2. Alright, so this is match number 2. I believe I'm versus Blue-Red Prowess here. And we'll see what happens. So, unkeepable hand. I mulligan to 6. No infect creature, but I know I'm against Blitz and I have a Spellskite. It's something. So, but I ended up drawing a Glistener Elf. I'm surprised. Yeah, okay, so they mutagenic it. I'm surprised they didn't Lava Dart or, yeah, Stormwing Entity. As you see, we're like, this is the problem with this matchup. On their turn 2, I got hit. I'm down to 13, and I'm facing down 2 big Prowess creatures off the back of Mutagenic Growth. They are like almost as fast, if not faster, than us. So, and again, they clog the board. So this Glistener Elf doesn't do anything. I have this Distortion Strike in hand, so I'm thinking like, okay, I have enough to might. I can do Distortion Strike, right? Go to 2. Go to 6. 7, right? Following turn, win with a Vines backup. This is my plan going forward. So let's see how it plays out. They opt, they get their triggers. They take a little bit of time. You know, those big brain plays. And again, another Storming Entity. So now, like, my original plan is gone. Because now I'm at 9, so a Bolt kills me. So I do draw Ink Moth, which is gonna block one of these blockers. So they bolt me. I steal it. I save a life by stealing it. Which this was at the time period I think was a little bit controversial, but they bolted me again. And if I'm not mistaken, I stole it again because it just, you know, or no, I didn't steal it. I did. No, okay. I just conceded this match, or I conceded this game, because as you see, they have I block. I'm at 4. I block. I'm dead. So that was that. All right. We'll be back with game number 2 in just a second. All right. So we're in game number 2 now. And I think actually last game I probably could have maybe won that game. There's a possibility I could have won that game because if that Lightning Bolt takes me to 4 and his thing's a 3. I untap and win. I don't know. Alright, so we're in game number 2 here. Alright, we're in game number 2. I go ahead and I play the elf. This one was fun because this is an interesting case scenario. They decided to play a Soulscar Mage. First of all, hold on. Let's talk about this just for a second. They should have, and it doesn't matter what they get a Prowess creature on the board. They should have bolted this elf, right? Or Lava Darted this elf, or something. They should have done something to this elf, but instead they played a Soulscar Mage, which I'm going to trade anything I can for it. So of course I'm thinking at the time period, I'm going to scale up and attack into it, killing this thing. Alright, I did not expect this to go anywhere. I was expecting this Soulscar Mage to die. They have an interesting scenario to block or not block after they made their first mistake, and as you can see, what happens here is they block, right? So now they Lava Dart. I Mutagenic Growth. This is a nice little tool that I have found that really, really helps out. And what they should have done is also play the Soulscar Mage before they Lava Darted, because if they had done that, then it would have died anyway. So we play the Blighted Agent here, and as you see, we're getting multiple creatures out. So, and I should have attacked into this. I should have attacked into it. I wasn't missing much by not attacking into it. So they attack. They're starting to get there. So this is a bit of a slower paced game. They Lava Dart. And this is where I messed up because I forgot that it deals damage and -1/-1 counters. So I messed up pretty hard there. One of my sideboard tech comes into play here. Kitchen Finks, which Kitchen Finks plus Soulscar Mage is a non-bow, which I wasn't fully aware of that all the way. Yep, I hit him for 1. I don't think they quite understood that either, because they had this lava dart here, or if they forgot about the lava dart. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but they forgot about the lava dart, so I hit him for another one, take him to 2. Maybe they're thinking about lava darting. Maybe they want that mountain up. Maybe they think they're safe, so they're not lava darting because of that. But it's safe. They're probably thinking I have snake skin or something. All right, so now they get a blocker. All right. My dog's barking, so I'm going low on the mic here. You can watch what happened. Okay, I feel like they gave me a lot of time, and the spell skite was crucial here, but here we go. Alright, so this is game number 3, and this one, we'll check it out. I don't exactly remember how this goes, so we'll find out. Okay, so my hand's pretty good. I have turn 2 Spell Skite, 2 Blighted Agents, Might. My hand's pretty good, so we'll see. And then I drew the best card ever I could possibly ask for, High Arc. Fetching to 17, I needed the blue source because I know it's probably going to die, but I needed the blue source. Yeah, so they abrade it, which I was really happy about because now I have the Spell Skite. So, Expressive Iteration. This card was good for them in the match, like real good for them. The Blighted Agent. Kozilek's Return, and this was interesting because Kozilek's Return plus Soulscar Mage is just so good. That was kind of like a backbreaker in the matchup. Hurting on color mana too. I really needed another colored source. Expressive Iteration again. I guess 4 cards they drew. And of course I redirected it to my Spell Skite. And I opted the trade here. Trading was an interesting play there, but it needed to be done, I think. Another expressive iteration. 3 of these, that's 6 cards they drew. I mean, it was a real beating for sure. Again, we took the damage. I believe they killed this. Oh, they played Stormwing. Stormwing really clogged the board against the Ink Moth, so maybe another Soul Scar. They just went off here. I maybe should have attacked into that Stormwing and killed it. Looking back on it, they go out, they play double Vapor Snag on the Spellskite, really delaying us, taking 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I should have attacked in and potentially killed that Stormwing entity. So definite some misplays here on my part. It's good to always review these games because of that. I opt to stop 5 damage, and by that point they're just so far ahead that, yeah, they drew another, and I think I just conceded here. So we lost to Prowess, which is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. This matchup's really tough. A lot of small decisions that make that mean big things. So this is a matchup where you need to test it a lot, and unfortunately I did not test it as much as I probably should have going into the day. So I'm currently 1-1 at this point. All right, we're back with the next game. Okay, so now we are in match number 3 of the ManaTraders series. We're currently 1-1 at this point, and we're against Blitz again. So let's see how this one plays out. So we're against Blitz. I had a mulligan. Of course, I got the Dryad Arbor, so it's the worst card ever. So we put it to the bottom. I have a pretty good hand here. All things considered. Play the Ink Moth. Have Spell Pierce for early on. I want to say one thing about this matchup. I love Spell Pierce in this matchup. I have 3 main deck specifically for this matchup because Manamorphose on turn 2 is their go-ahead. If they Manamorphose on turn 2, that means they turn to Stormwing Entity. Plus they draw a card, so it's like they get a 3/3 Prowess that scries 2 for free. So I love Spell Pierce to stop Manamorphose specifically. That is one of the reasons that I'm up to 3 in this matchup, is specifically for Manamorphose. You can't do anything about the gut shots and the mutagenic growths. If they get it off of mutagenic growth, that is what it is. You can't stop that. So because if you Spell Pierce that, they still cast the spell and they get the trigger. So here it's kind of like, that's unfortunate, but. When they Stormwing. Okay. Blighted Agent here. So we play the Agent. We have the mana up to Spell Pierce something. Sprite Dragon. They try to bolt. We Spell Pierce, giving us the Creeway. So what we do is we need to draw a pump spell. We need to draw a pump. We need Might of Volcroza here, right? Might of Volcroza, boom. 6, 10, dead. Alright, so that's how we do that one. We'll be back with game number 2 in just a second. Alright, so this is game number 2 again versus Blitz. Let's see what happens here. We have a good hand with Wild Defiance here. I'm excited to see Wild Defiance. I put one out as a Lightning Rod, just to start eating some spells up. But he let the guard down, so we 10 killed. My plan was, I don't know why this lived. The player completely did not respect the turn 2 kill. Didn't think we had it. If I were them, I would have left the ManaTraders Swiss here back. That could have made this game go on longer, but they were, I guess, a little unsure of the matchup. So that one was super fast. So now we're 2-1 versus we're 2-1 in the ManaTraders series. Okay, so now we are at round number 4. We're 2-1 currently, and let's see how this game played out. So I won the die roll, which is really important. Yeah, so my hand here, you know, pretty solid. It's a pretty solid hand. We're looking at like a turn 3 potentially kill here. So let's see what happens. So I am typically a fan, and I can't remember what I did in this matchup exactly, but I am a fan of casting Hierarch before Elf. And the reason I like that is I like being up the mana. You'll see some people who typically play Elf then Hierarch. That's personal preference. My win rate has gone up now that I used to be that person, so play this first, but now I play the Hierarch first. Alright. And we'll see what they did. Steam Vents, I believe we're versus Prowess again here, if I'm not mistaken. So we draw Vines. So now we drop the Elf, and I leave Vines mana up. Brandon said, oh, okay, that's right. We're versus Niv Mizzet here. This is 5-color Niv Mizzet. So I was very happy that I left the mana up. If not, this thing would have been dead. Although I would have had Hierarch to swing back and kill it. You know, I just prefer to save Infect creatures as much as possible. Alright, so again, this combo is so good. Boom, 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 boom. I love it, love it, love it. So I went there, 6, 4, 10, and we kill. Wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't Vines, but if I also had played the Hierarch and they killed the Elf, I would have had the mana to do it. But, you know, that is that. So that was game number 1. We'll be right back with game number 2. Alright, so we are in game number 2 versus Niv Mizzet. This game, let's see how it worked out. I had a mulligan. My hand was not very good to start, as you saw in the first hand. So now let's see what happens. They play Misty Rainforest Crack, and they're already on the board. They're already off Utopia Sprawl. You know that's gonna be a bad start, but they did mulligan a lot, so I'm feeling I'm feeling happy. This card, I don't know if it was right to bring in. I really don't know in this matchup. I just figured they had a bunch of, you know, one-off removal spells. I think I over sideboarded pretty heavily. Even though I do technically have it in turn 2, I know a Wrenn and 6 is probably coming, so thinking that creature was going to live to power out on turn 2 was kind of a mistake. And again, I don't have an Infect creature, so you know, a lot went wrong with this game. And you know, at some point in a tournament, you just get like mentally tired, and you just stop being, you don't know, you stop making the best decisions when you get certain tired. But yeah, okay. So the Hierarch dies, Prismari Command. They create a treasure token, so they're ramped, so they're already at 4 mana. So next turn, what am I thinking is going to happen? It's not great once they get to 5 mana. Alright, so again, no Infect creature. I just passed the board. You know, this is not great. Alright. So look at all those different colors, Niv Mizzet. And if you look over here in their revealed card zone, wow. Alright. So I conceded this game. There was no way I was going to win through a Lightning Helix, Assassin's Trophy, a Kyle's Guile, and a Bring to Light. Just wasn't going to happen. So I conceded this game. Alright, we'll be back with game number 3 in just a second. Alright, so we are in game number 3 now. And game number 3 is an interesting one. It was a fun one, so let's see what happens. Alright, so I'm on the play. I have a pretty decent hand here. I can stop, Bring the Light, I have 2 Infect creatures, and I have a Magnet. I am a little slow because I'm supposed to be turn 3 before I get the creature on the board, meaning they have a decent amount of time. So we'll see what happens. But I played that, passed. Abundant Growth, I was so happy this was not a Utopia Sprawl. If that was a Utopia Sprawl, we would have been in big trouble. Alright, we fetch on end step. Oh, sorry, drinking coffee as I'm doing this. Another Bladed Agent. Okay, so let's see what I decide to do. Spell Sky. So now I'm gonna get creatures on the board. Okay, good. And this is why I was happy that I played Spellskite and not the Bladed Agent, because it would have just been dead and he would have been up so heavily. So now we have 3 Bladed Agents and we have Spellskite and we're ready to go. We need pump, right? We need pump spells. We don't get it. We draw Dryad Harbor. Worst card ever. It's been like my least favorite card of the tournament, although I understand its importance. Again, we changed the target over. I kind of think they should have kept up with their card advantage and tried to emblem us. But of course, on their side, they're probably thinking like, oh, I'm dead right now. Like, I'm just dead. But they're not, because we draw another Infect creature. So now my plan is to go wide, but I am worried about board wipes like Kozilek's Return, but we have Flusterstorm. So we'll see what happens. And let's go ahead and hit for that 2, or hit for that 1. And of course, I'm going at him, or them. I am going at them because I want to end this game. All right, I play another one. And I keep back the Glistener Elf. This was probably my mistake of the game. I should have played this to start hitting for 3. So next turn he goes 3 goes to 4, and then next turns, you know, all I need is a 2 or a 3 pump spell to win. So, but I also wanted to keep up my Flusterstorm mana, so I kept up Flusterstorm. Especially now that they're getting towards Bring Delay mana. Once they get towards Bring Delay mana, it's just ugh. 3, they put Yorion in their hand, so I know like they're pretty weak here. So it's up to me to end this game quickly. All right. So what do we draw here? We draw Snakeskin Veil. That's pretty good, right? Because now when they gain a target, I'll just put a +1/+1 counter on it. But again, I'm a little pinned on mana here, so we're gonna hit for 2. We're gonna take off the 3. Oh, that's right. I kill off the Ren at 6 because I do not, I just don't want that Ren at 6 to be alive. And then I believe I put down the other agent. We'll see what I do here. I can't exactly remember. Yep, the other agent keeping up Flusterstorm, because now they're heading up to a certain point of mana. So next turn, they are to 5. So really, like a scale up would be like really good. I'm also getting slightly worried about how much mana they have, and they did miss it. Right. So this was like really scary. This was like my scariest point of the whole match, because Niv Mizzet is just Niv Mizzet. Look at all that. But they kind of whiff a little bit. Like Assassin's Trophy, which we have the answer to. Kyle's Guile, we have Dryad Harbor in play. Like things just lined up here for us against what they got. And I still have my Niv Mizzet, and I go ahead and just put the counter on the creature now. So that's taking the 4, takes them to 6. It means a 4 pump spell wins it for us. That was something that I had decided to do. I was a little nervous about doing, but I figured now that they have Niv Mizzet on the field and we're at 12, we need to end this game. So I put the counter on the creature. Alright, and what do we draw? Pendelhaven. Okay. So I Pendelhaven against, and then we hit for 5, take them to 7. We didn't draw any actual pump spell this game. I'm officially realizing that right now. So we play the Glistener Elf. try to Assassin's Trophy. I redirect this over to Spellskite, and I should have paid a mana for. I do realize that at this exact moment I should have paid a mana for that. And I go and search for a forest, and that's because I have lethal 2 ways here. Because I have, if I let this go, then all the other do stop one of them, and this also stops Niv-Mizzet from attacking because of our creatures on the board. So now I have lethal in so many different ways, and I wanted to keep as many possibilities for lethal open as possible. So they attack with Niv-Mizzet. We're down to 4. Okay, so they ran in 6 here. And this is kind of like one of these moments where it's like, okay, they have an option. They can kill me, or they can try to. Really, they have to kill me. So Flusterstorm, last card in hand. Let's see what happens. Boom. They lightning heal as me. Plus this would be lethal if I did not have Flusterstorm. And this is where I like Flusterstorm in the sideboard of Infect, and I like it because Force of Negation here. Oh, if they did this on, like, they ping me for 1, right? And then on my upkeep, they lightning helix me, and I spell pierce, they can Force of Negation that back. But because it's Flusterstorm and the targets go on the stack, they can't do it. Which is why I like Spell Pierce main Flusterstorm side in matchups like this, because I know Flusterstorm is better against Force of Negation than what you call it is. Okay, but that was game number 3, and we are currently now, this was round number 4, we are 3-1 currently. Alright, we'll be back with the next one. Alright, so this is round number 5 of the ManaTraders series. We're currently sitting pretty at 3-1 with Infect. So this Dryad Arbor in its opening hand, let me tell you. Okay, so this hand is good though. We have a turn 2 kill. I mean, and we have a backup creature in case the turn 2 kill fails. So this hand is bananas. But I know what my opponent's on, and it makes me a little bit nervous. So we do our thing. I fetched a forest because I'm against Blitz. I have a blue source that I'm going to use sparingly. And going to 17 on turn 1 can just be so hurtful versus that deck. They like kind of force you to search out basic lands. Alright, let's see what they do. Arid Mesa. Okay. So, we can pick a fight here, right? So let's drop this land and let's pick our fight. We scale up. Okay, good. They let it go. We might... my worry here was Vapor Snag. I mean, Vapor Snag is Vapor Snag, but we got there in like a minute. Turn 2 kill again. Sometimes you just get lucky like this, and it's exactly what happened. Alright, so we'll be back with game number 2. Alright, game number 2, round number 5. Let's see how this one plays out. Okay, so my hand's pretty good. I'm pinned on mana, but the hand's good. But I mulligan it. And the reason I do that is because... Oh, sorry, that was already my mulligan. Okay. I'm pinned on mana, but I have a turn 2 kill. I potentially have a turn 2 kill, but I'm on the draw, so I know that's not going to happen. So I'm going to keep up my Flusterstorm. So they play their creature. I draw another Flusterstorm. I do go to 17 here, and I don't like doing that, but I know it's also probably not going to live. Lava Dart, of course, is the worst card for us. And then they play a Sprite Dragon. Sprite Dragon's the one that I just, so frustrating to play against. Again, we are pinned on mana, so I just decided to hold up because Lava Dart in the graveyard is just not worth it. So if we maybe had a second forest here, we could have potentially played the elf, they Lava Dart, we Flusterstorm. That would have been, the best case scenario, but we missed our land drop, so. And this is like a showcase of, I just start spell piercing things because I need to start hitting things as much as possible. And I find my creature. It's still not quite what I need though, it's the wrong land for this specific scenario. And again, we get hit, we go down to 12, they Lava Dart. This was good. This moment I felt like I had a chance to come back, because the Lava Dart is out of the graveyard. But if they're also getting rid of the Lava Dart, they probably have another one. And, you know, they're just trying to get us dead, which is smart on their part. And, of course, they also needed to play Stormwing Entity. So they play that. This game is, like, firmly getting out of hand. We miss a land drop again. Manamorphose, and we can see that's going to be 4. Yeah, we just conceded. There was no chance of winning that game. All right, we're back with game number 3. All right, game number 3 here. Yes, we would like to play first, of course. The hand's not great. You know, I kept it. Okay. All right. So I do have 2 Infect creatures. You know, we'll see what happens. But they Soulscar Mages. Soulscar Mage is so... Oh, that's the creature that I have the toughest time with because it even stops my Cyber plan of Kitchen Finks. And maybe this is where Tarmogoyf is better. Just so it takes more to get rid of it. But, you know... Of course, we're giving them the go-ahead. We kind of messed up here. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I did something pretty stupid here. No, okay, I thought I traded the Ink Moth for some reason. Didn't play a second Soulscar Mage, a third Soulscar Mage. Okay. And I drop, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, cool, because I have Snakeskin Veil here. That's right. I have Snakeskin. So they Vapor Snag, and then I believe I Snakeskin. I should have let it go. I should have let the Vapor Snag go. But then that would have taken me to 10, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I trade off here. No, I don't. Okay, I take all 10. Okay, they light up the stage. So what I need is a scale up, it looks like. And of course I draw it. Oh my god. I didn't even realize how, I didn't quite remember how this game went, but man, I got lucky. I'm drawing exactly what I needed when I needed it versus the Prowess matchup here. Yep, and game number 3 ended. So we got there. We're 2-1 versus Prowess on the day. We got really lucky. I think what I should have done the last turn to save, well, it would have been like they would have 1 less Soulscar Mages. I mean, potentially should have traded it off, but oh wait, no, 4-6. No, I shouldn't have, because if I had, then if I drew another Might or yeah, another Might, I would have won too. So I just leaving this in hand gave me more options. So, all right, we'll move it on to the next round in just a second. Alright, so we're heading into round number 6 here of the ManaTraders tournament. And we are again versus Blitz again. So much Blitz in this metagame, but because we're on Blitz and I have Pendlehaven and a Spellskite, I feel pretty good about this specific match. So I don't have the Hierarch, so I just go ahead and I drop the Elf. Let's make them. Yeah, and they did the right thing. This is what they should do. They Lava Darted my creature on turn 1. So I drop the Spellskite. They fetch, play a Sprite Dragon. So now we're in trouble because that's like one of the creatures that we care about the most. Alright, so we grab the Forest here because we're trying to conserve life, and we grab the Blighted Agent. So now I'm protected against Lava Dart in several ways. So they Wild Slash me because they know that they're not going to win this. By trying to keep the Infect creature off the board. Now they're trying to hit me. And of course they Stormwing Entity, but we have 6, 7, 8, we have 9 points of pump. All we need is 1. We don't draw it, but, and this is where I think I messed up. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just hit for 1 because we have 9 points of pump. Like, what was I thinking? We have 9 points of pump. Oh, okay. I went ahead and hit them with it, which again feels a bit like a mistake, but we have Spell Pierce here, which we do Spell Pierce the Expressive Iteration because that card's really good. And they draw a card knowing they have Lava Dart, and we have the victory. So I play Inkmoth Nexus, I Pendlehaven it, and we get there. Okay, so we got there in game 1. Let's check out games number 2. we are in game versus 2 again versus Blitz again. That seems to be how it goes. So our hand is okay. Not great. But we draw another Blighted Agent. See, that stopped them. I'm still at 19 life and we're heading into turn number 3. This is why I like Spell Pierce. This game still didn't, you know, to give you a heads up, this game didn't go the way that it probably should have, but, you know, anyway, we draw Spellskite, boom. That was like a perfect draw. So they're Lava Dart and us, Storming Entity. This is where the game starts to get out of hand here. So, we play the Blighted Agent, leaving up the thing. Okay, so now, this player was really smart, because they realized that the key to victory for them is going to be they have to get rid of Spellskite, and they're just going to continue to pound us with this anyway. So, yeah, the second, the Lava Dart. So now they have a Lava Dart, or no, they flash back the Lava Dart from their graveyard, and we're taking 5. We're at 11 now. So we hit for 6, which I maybe should have just put, I don't know, there's so many things I could have done differently there. But anyway, they're at 6. They hit us for 3. I took down my guard with the Pendelhaven. It was a complete and total mistake. See, if I had the Pendelhaven here, I could have protected this and then still not taken the 4. So, yeah, they went off there, but there was mistakes there that I made. Like the 5 and 6 Infect didn't matter, and the draw card function does work here. But if I had drawn another pump spell the following turn, I would have won. I didn't put myself in the best position to win there. All right, back with game 3. All right, game number 3 versus them. So we are already on a mulligan to 5 here, and we do not go to 4, but I have to give up my potential to turn to kill to keep as many Infect creatures as I can on the board. So we play the Elf. We need another land to hit this Wild Defiance, which we get. We land down the Wild Defiance. And again, that Manamorphose. Okay, so now you're thinking like, oh man, we're in a great spot here, right? Well, we're not, because of this card. I lost this matchup to this card. Was not expecting that card. I mean, I saw it in their sideboard, but was very, very shocked when that. But like, I'm still thinking like, okay, we're in good shape here, right? We have, boom, their second one. They have 2 in the sideboard, and they drew both of them within the first 15 cards, and they had the mana to play it. And now they're infecting us, so not great, right? Vapor Snag. You know, things, Wild Defiance did not line up here. And then we also lost our, Distortion Strike too. This plus this would have been lethal. You know, 4, 8, 9, 10. Would have been lethal if they didn't have Vapor Snag. So, although Wild Defiance is like such an amazing card, against this specific scenario, you're never going to see this scenario again. I don't know what else to say about it except that was super unfortunate. They lined up exactly what they needed to beat us here. Which, you know, earlier in the game we had that too. So I cast Weather the Storm here for 3 to gain 9 life, just because I don't think I'll have another opportunity to do that much again, because they can beat us on board, and now they start flooding the board with everything that you could possibly imagine. And then the game is pretty self-explanatory from here. And see, this is a Soulscar Mage completely invalidates Wild Defiance. So going into this, I thought Wild Defiance was going to be like key in this matchup, but now I'm throughout the tournament, I realized that maybe Wild Defiance isn't that good. Just simply due to the fact of Soulscar Mage. Luckily, we had a Snakeskin here, and of course they don't attack on the ground. They hit us for 8. We grab our Bladed Agent, and we're thinking, okay, we now have another chance, potentially. We attack, they block, and this is where it just begins to get a little out of hand. They Mutagenic Growth, they get all their triggers, they go in the stack, they Lava Dart, and this is where we die. But mulliganing to as low as I did, I had the opportunity to win early on if it wasn't for threads of disloyalty. This matchup was heartbreaking, because for what we had the chance to win, and not only was it the threads, but then they had to have the Vapor Snag. 3 of the cards that line up perfectly against ours they had, which is magic, that happens. So this was heartbreaking, but it is what it is. Alright, and we keep moving on. We move on to the next round. Alright, so we are in round number 8 now of the ManaTraders series. We're currently sitting at 5-2, so we're feeling pretty good. And I don't exactly remember what we're up against, but here we are. Our hand's pretty good. We have potential turn 2 kill if we draw an elf. So we are feeling pretty good. So they Stomping Grounds. That's right. We're versus Shift here. So I draw a Blossoming. I draw a Blossoming Set. So we just play our creature. Versus Valakut, which I felt really, I love this matchup. It's just so good for us. They play a land, we get that, we get Bladed Agent on the battlefield. We draw another land. It's a little unfortunate, but this is my favorite play in all of Magic. Turn 1 land, turn 2 Ink Moth and Bladed Agent, because it just puts them in such a bind. And if I'm not mistaken, they fetch for Trocaire, however you pronounce it. So I know that they don't have a ton here, and they bolt our creature. So now we can begin baiting, right? Okay, so we draw a Snakeskin, but we don't need it. This is where I decide to go for it, right? We're just going to go for it, because we beat a bolt with double these, and we can pick a fight with Scale Up. So we force their hand by casting Scale Up, right? Well, first we activate, then we cast Scale Up, and we're about to see if they have a second bolt, which they do, which is probably one of the reasons they kept that hand. It was probably kind of weak in general, is because they have double bolt and they know that they're playing Infect. But we instead Mutagenic Growth. We Mutagenic Growth and resolves to a 10, and we win that game. Alright, we'll be back with the next game in just a second. Okay, so we're game number 2, and we're versus Valakut here. We're currently sitting at 5-2 on the ManaTraders series, and we're up a game, so we feel pretty good. Again, we have 8 points of pump on our second turn. So what we're going to do, they play Valakut. Okay. We grab, and I let it go. Because I know this is just going to die and I'm trying to save it. So I grab my elf, we grab another land, I play that, and now I play the elf, knowing that I have Flusterstorm Spell and Spellcraft back up. So they fetch for their land, and they draw. No, it's Teferi, and I pierce it. Alright, so now I scale up and I hit them for 8 points of Infect, because I do Mutagenic Growth there. So now I have lethal on board with Flusterstorm back up. And they Cleansing Wildfire, I Flusterstorm, and we win. So that was a super quick match, and now we're sitting at 6-2 in the ManaTraders series. So the worst we can do is 6-3, the best we can do is 7-2. Really, really hoping for that 7-2, and we'll see what happens in the final round coming up next. Alright, so this is the final round of the ManaTraders series. At this point in the tournament, my breakers were really, really bad because the first two people I beat also went 0-2 and they both also dropped. So my breakers are terrible. I'm actually locked out of top 16 at this point. I know that my opponent is also locked out of top 16, so I'm not going to show the chat, but we had a pretty interesting little engagement. We had a lot of fun. Like this opponent was super cool, and we just chatted about how well we were doing with our respective decks, and we were very happy because it was the first time in a long time we've both done this. So my opponent's on Eldrazi-tron, I am on Infect, of course, and here we go. I'm thinking like, okay, this matchup can't be terrible, but this hand's not great. So I do mulligan it. Again, it's not great. We have a lot of land, but I keep it because we have a Spell Pierce and we have 2 Infect creatures. So I ditch the forest, and I play the elf. Right. Now, what my opponent does is plays Power Plant. Of course, they have the beautiful, beautiful lands, and they dismember us. That's unfortunate. Okay. First thing that went wrong this game. Alright, we draw another land, so I'm just trying to get lands out of the deck, we play that. They play map. Now, we draw a Hierarch, so we play the Hierarch, right? I probably should have fetched for another forest there just to get the lands out, but we hit for 2. Alright, so they search for a land, they get their mana to play another map. Their deck is gorgeous, by the way. Alright, so we hit scale up and we hit for 7, we take them to 9. And they play, what do they play? I think it's a big walk. All is Dust. And they have exactly 2 mana left over. And we have Spell Pierce. So that was unfortunate. So we grab a Dryad Arbor run in step, and we're just trying to do what we can. And they Ugin the Inevitable, and they Thought-Knot Seer, and then they get through another creature, and then they play a Reality Smasher, and then they beat us in the face to death. So we came really close. We didn't get there. Sometimes Eldrazi-tron's like that. They had enough mana to beat our turn on Spell Pierce. So that All Is Dust was crucial. We would have won if they didn't have that. But, they are running 2 main deck for that purpose. So, back with game number 2. Alright, game number 2. This one's going to be pretty quick. But we don't do anything on turn 1. They play a mine. We go for the Blighted Agent. They dismember it on end step. And then Chalice. So we have a bunch of ones, but we have our out here that we know about. But then they Warping Wail it, and we can't do anything because of the Mutagenic Growth R1. We have nothing. They play 2 Matter Reshapers. We have our creature here, so we're thinking maybe we can get there. We come immense, but they're starting to hit us pretty hard. And then a Walking Ballista on 3, and that's how we end our tournament. We got steamrolled by Chalice of the Void. Like, absolutely steamrolled in this game. But, my opponent was super fun. We ended the tournament 6-3. Overall, it was a great tournament. Faced Prowess a lot. I wish Prowess wasn't as good as it was. We had a few times where we drew exactly what we needed, and that was great. And then there were times where we completely just pooped out, and this was one of them. So can't win them all. Thanks for tuning into this, and I'll be doing more of these in the future.